Hey everyone, welcome back to another UK couples YouTube video, or welcome if you're new here. This video is going to be about us getting some custom artwork made for the home, and the artist is none other than my very dear cousin Srishti, and you're going to meet her in this video. We have an interview with her, and the process behind how we got this made was quite new and fascinating. It's a new venture started by Srishti herself, and initially the start of the process was we had 2 consultation calls where we discussed what our home looks like and the overall design style of it, and how we are as people, how we like entertaining other people. And it was just a whole round of Srishti interviewing me about what we wanted out of the pieces, and she came up with the idea behind these artworks. And one of the core concepts behind her artwork and idea was that she wanted to combine the energies of the house across the 2 floors. And what you just saw us unbox is this circular piece of art that is sitting in the ground floor in our lounge room. And there's a main artwork which goes on our stairway landing upstairs in the first floor. And her concept was that people who enter our home and visit us, who are acquaintances or friends, get to see the circular piece of canvas, which is a keyhole piece, or an introductory piece to the main artwork that's in the first floor. And I think that was a really cool concept. And she also said that those who are fortunate enough to visit us and close enough to actually go upstairs to our more intimate spaces, they get to see the main piece, which I think is a beautiful concept. And I think we should just go and speak to her about it and find out where a lot of the inspiration came from, and just ask her a few questions about the process. So yeah, let's go meet Srishti.
Hello.
We have our author, Srishti, on the call.
Author?
Author?
Artist.
Artist is the right
The
word.
painter/artist.
Right, do you want to start by introducing yourself to everyone?
Sure. My name is Srishti Santosh. I'm from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India, and I am currently a corporate employee. I'm a HR, and on the side, I have a little interest in art, nothing too big, and I truly enjoy doing it. And it's something that my mother cultivated in me at a very young age. She pretty much let me fall in love with art, and it's because of that I do that as a hobby now, and it's been a great experience so far. I have a sister. She's the one who's in handling this whole YouTube thing, and it's thanks to her and Bhav that I have this opportunity to be here and talk to all of y'all. So let's get this started with. I'm excited.
Okay. So, are we calling this art commission? Is that what we are going to refer as your venture?
Okay, so I had the opportunity to meet a very renowned art critic in India, and he said, "Don't call yourself a commission artist, because a commission artist is somebody you go to that person, you're like, hey, draw this flower and give it to me." I don't do that. I don't work like that. I've never been able to do it. When somebody tells me to do art, I can't do it. It has to come to me. So he said, call yourself a fine artist. So that is what I am, a fine artist rather than a commission artist.
Okay. So, okay, that's enlightening. And so, do you want to?
So, yeah, so the art piece, did we say what the name was?
Yes.
Aaeena, yes.
The art piece's name is Aaeena. It translates in Hindi, it's Aaeena. It translates to mirror in English. If when you see the piece, you'll understand why. And if as you go forward watching more videos on this YouTube channel, I think you'll understand why I called the piece Aaeena once they get to know you.
Oh,
Okay.
that's sweet. Okay, but like, okay, but what led to the actual So I guess okay, that's a personal thing. Like, why? What was the meaning behind the piece? But what led to that concept of like an aerial view of a water scene with like koi fish, and like what led to that? Like, how did your thought and ideas like form and eventually lead to that concept?
Okay, it's going to be really weird when I explain it, but I had gone surfing. I think 3 4 days after I had spoken to you, and when you walk into the beach, or rather, when I walked into the beach, there was a little bit of a corally bit, which against the brown sand looked just so beautiful. And the first thing that came to my head was, oh my god, Teju would love this color combination in her hall. I should really consider this color palette. So that's where this the seed of the idea came. But I was always very clear that I wanted something related to gold and mirrors, because I've had the opportunity to talk to both of y'all, spend time with both of y'all, and I know the kind of people y'all are. So I knew that at some point I wanted the piece to be a good reflection of what you two are. So surfing, that was where it started, and then after that it was just it was a free fall of a multitude of ideas and a lot of learning along the way.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue into actually for our YouTube viewers, right? Like we don't know most of the things that she's saying here. It's new information for us as well. So, okay, that's what you said, that there was a lot of learning on the way. It's a good segue to the next question.
Yeah. So what do you feel you've learned from this painting?
Patience, immense patience. um, and it was like learning how to write all over again, because I have never worked with this medium before. So the medium of this painting is alcohol ink. I am predominantly a pencil come acrylic paint person. I like thick acrylic paint. I can work with it. It's a buildable substance. But alcohol ink, it works on airflow, and I didn't know how to work with something so volatile, something so unpredictable. And you guys are actually like that. We can't really predict what you're going to do next.
I don't know if that's a compliment, Srish, but
It's a
okay.
compliment. It's a compliment.
Fine.
And I remember the first time I have like one piece for myself where I had just tried everything that I can to make this thing, goddamn thing, look like how it looked in my head, but it just wouldn't come through. And I lost a good amount of time just to get, you know, the shape right. But eventually I realized, I needed to do a lot more R&D. And once I did that, I figured out I may have figured out how to work with it. And that's how the first piece, which is the one in the hall, that's how that piece came about. That was my first piece. And at first, when I saw it, I absolutely disliked it. And I was like, I cannot give her this piece. This is just absurd. We need to restart. And I let it just sit in a room, and I didn't come into the room at all. And then eventually, when I came into the room and I looked at it, I was like, this is the star piece. I love it. And patience, simply because of the resin. So if you look at the piece, it has a gloss on it. I have again never worked with resin. Acrylic paint, I never needed it. I would do justice to the glossy aspect with just the medium itself. But when I decided I would give it to you, I needed it to be protected even during delivery. So I had decided I would resin coat it. And to learn how to pour it and make sure that nothing moves after you pour it was one of the most difficult things that I have ever done as an artist. But it when I poured it and I saw this, hot resin just go, or rather warm resin go through the painting, I was just praying, oh my God, please don't mess it up. There's so much hard work into it. So it took days for it to like dry and then cure and become the piece that it is. So I had like planned it to be about a 20-day thing, but it took me a good 2 months to finish it, simply because of how it needed to cure and become the piece that it is today. So learning and patience was my two learnings that happened. Learning something from scratch, learning a new medium from scratch.
Okay, that's interesting because I think we've not spoken about, at least for this video, we've not spoken about the concept of the painting ages with the owners of the painting. Can you elaborate on that like aspect of it as well?
Sure. So the thing about alcohol ink is that it is photosensitive. So if I was to give you an alcohol ink painting that is not varnished, that is not resin, that is not UV coated, in a matter of a month, the paint will completely change color, and it'll either fade off depending on what kind of a surface you've put it on, or it'll just change into different shades of that color. And I wouldn't say it would completely disappear, but it'll just keep growing with time. So what I have done is I've put enough coat of UV as well as varnish and resin to slow down that process considerably, and to some extent even terminate it for certain colors. But colors like blue, colors like yellow, pink, they will age with you. So if you see the painting, there are spots of blue and pink and yellow, and I want that to age with you. These are colors that stand out when you look into a pond. Yellow is the reflection of the sun, blue is the reflection of the water, pink is a reflection of what I would assume would be flowers. So I wanted to change into different shades of the color itself, so that you're not looking at the same piece 3 years down the line.
Oh, that's
Very novel.
that's
Such a
very
novel
good.
idea.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, so this piece you had already met us before you had made it, so you already sort of knew our personality and something about who we are. But say you were to do this for a client you haven't really met them before, maybe not even in person. How would you approach the painting differently, because you don't have all the information that you might want or need?
That's a really great question, Bob. So I would say I'm the kind of person who reads well into the kind of people that I encounter. I'm very I don't know what the word is for it, but I can notice certain things about people, and I know
Observant.
that's a good trait about them. So what I usually do is I have an agreement that I set up. So Teju and Bhav, both of y'all got it as well. So one of the clauses of this agreement, which would be step 2 of the agreement, I'm just going to read it if you don't mind. A first consultation is essentially where I would meet you in person or through a video call, get to know you, your homes, the dreams you have of the energy your home would like to possess, the color palette you're looking for, the color palette of your home or room, dimensions, how light behaves in your home or room, how would you go about keeping the canvas safe and away from damage, and how many people reside in your home. So these are certain aspects that I will touch upon, and obviously each of these questions will lead me to branch out into furthermore questioning and investigation of the kind of people y'all are. So it's not going to be like a job interview where I ask you these questions and I expect like a formal response. It's more of a getting to know, like over a cup of coffee, something like that. So I would obviously prefer if I met you in person, but if it's through a video call, then I will do what I can best with that. Another thing that I also find really useful is pictures. Um, Telling me stories about yourself. I'm a very story-driven person, so I love stories and I love including stories in my art. it in itself is a depiction of a story. So if you tell me some story which is very significant to you, I can definitely try my best to illustrate that through my art as well.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Um, I think there's one more interesting question I think many people might have. So you it's part of the agreement as well, the thing we signed. So there's obviously like you when you learn about like what goes behind making a custom art piece, and also which is unique that you can't bulk buy, for example, like you it's definitely expense on the expensive end, like, and for good reason. I was just wondering, like, what would you comment on for maybe say clients who like appreciate art but who maybe cannot afford to like pay the lump sum, right? But they still maybe want to appreciate the artist like monetarily. I'm not saying, I'm sure there'll be people who love art but maybe they can't afford to have custom art. Like, what would be the initiative you take for like people like that, who would still want art, but like are there ways to cut cost and still deliver? Like, what would you like try and do for such people?
That's a really great question. Because while I was doing your art as well, I was wondering, what if somebody from India had asked for an art of this size and this type? How would I deliver it for somebody like that? And I realized that I could have given them the exact same piece, but with a different medium. When I change the medium, the surface on which it is put on is also different. So I have used synthetic paper for you, and I've handcrafted a canvas for you. So that's like customization on a different level. But if I was to do it on a canvas, I get it already pre-made. So that's this creating a canvas from scratch would like cost me, let's say, £1,000. But for me to buy a canvas will probably just be 30. There's a huge difference between it. So there are a lot of ways that I can reduce cost by reducing the size of the piece, the kind of mediums I'm using. And if somebody says, listen, I don't want a piece that big, I just want a piece that's this big, I can give it to you in like a shorter period of time. So number of man hours that I spend on it is also reduced. So the kind of tariff that I would be collecting for my skill would also be much lesser. So for what maybe somebody would pay for a size of a 24 by 36 would be, let's say, 20,000 rupees. For the same piece, if the client who I made it for is okay with me replicating it into a piece that's like the size of my palm, then I would do that probably for 200 rupees. This as an example. So these are some ways that we can cut costs for somebody who appreciates art and wants art in their house, though. And I'm always open to helping with budgets. I would hope that I could grace all of your homes with peace of mind.
Yeah, I think that's where like both of our interests, like like when I try to work on interiors, it kind of aligns, because I believe that like no matter where you are in the spectrum of like income or like finances, I just want everybody to be able to live in a stylish
Yeah,
home, like in a
yeah.
home that they love, and with like design elements that are unique, because I think you can achieve like beautiful rooms even on a budget. That's like the
Very
whole
much.
point of like all of
Yeah.
this. And I really like that you also think of that with art. I think that's
Yeah.
like an amazing like
And
thought.
the thing about picking art piece as well as a piece of your room is you, as the client, you get something that's really personal to you and has deep meaning. And as Srishti, the artist, she gets to design such a thing and see how rewarding it is when she delivers to people and how happy they are to receive it. So I really think it's a good choice to have
Yeah, it's
having
it's
custom art rather
yeah,
than just you
yeah,
pre-buy a piece of art.
yeah,
You can still go to an artist and have costs cut to your budget,
yeah.
but there's so much more meaning behind the painting, and it will be so rewarding
Yeah,
to own
it's
such a
in
thing.
general it feels better to like have that up on it, because we were initially the viewers don't know this, but we were initially planning to put like a similar sized clock, like a just a big
In the hall.
metallic, yeah, like where the round canvas is at in the ground floor. We were planning to put a clock there, and I feel like this is just like way better
Another
than,
level.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you wouldn't like, it's so much nicer to have something with so much meaning rather than just like a store bought like clock on the wall. Like, oh my god, like I think it's definitely worth investing
Come on,
in.
guys, the words are crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I had a question. So if you were to use the resin again, do you think you would have a different approach to it? Do you think you've mastered resin, or would you be able to do it quicker, or do you think you just have to let the resin flow, see what
I just
happens?
have to surrender to the waves of the resin. I just have to surrender. It's just that. I think I was trying to control it too much, and since I was trying to replicate water, I think it taught me a good lesson that water is just going to do what water wants to do. Just let it be.
Yeah, that's
Great.
also really good, isn't it, the
It is,
concept?
yeah. Are there any other sort of new types of, like resin was something I've never heard of. I don't know anything about art, so it's just paint to me. Is there anything new that you want to try for a future client? Something that's upcoming or you haven't used before?
um, I actually have another alcohol piece that I must do for someone, and I mean this actually goes to your previous question that you had asked me about budget cutting. So she had seen this piece that I had done for y'all, and she was like, "I want that." And I said, I didn't want to ask y'all also whether I could replicate it.
There's
I just
only one in
didn't
the
want to
world.
replicate it. Yeah, I was like, no,
Oh
I
yeah,
can't.
that's a like, let me pause you there. That for YouTubers, like if you really take her on as your artist to make something for your home, she'll make sure that that's unique and you're the only one who has it. So that's if that doesn't sell it to you, please, like come on.
Yeah, so she was like, I want that. I said, see, I can't give you that big of a piece. And the thing is, I'm giving this as a gift rather than something she's buying from me. So even if that was the reason, I didn't want to replicate your work in her home. So I have to downsize now the size of the canvas, what I'm portraying with it. So it's considerably much cheaper now to do that. So that is my next piece that I'm working on, Bhav. That is one, and I have a fabric piece that I'm actually planning on giving a friend as well. They're traveling abroad, so I thought I would gift this as a piece to them. So it's a little inspiration from everywhere, from Zara and from a little bit of Pinterest. And I would suggest that anybody who's trying to get into art or just to have that creative push, just do a deep dive into Pinterest, and you never know, you'll just be starting another probably YouTube channel or an Instagram channel, and doing an interior project, something. It's just creative fuel, and I love it.
Do you want to give a shout out to your do you have an Instagram art page?
Oh no, I don't. I'm very shy like that. I don't really share my work. So this is also very, very like, I'm really like having an anxiety about it. But I'm like, okay, y'all want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. And I love talking about my work, but I try to keep really low about it. I keep it between two people. But this is I don't have a page. I don't think I ever will have a page for now. But you can go ahead and talk about it and publicize it
Maybe
for me.
actually,
Free
to be honest,
marketing.
that makes it more discreet and special, because like you won't have your um,
Nobody can replicate it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I think
you know,
it reduces the chances of someone copying the idea.
It's a private members club.
Yeah, yeah, oh my god, private members. Right, okay. Anyway, so if you have any pieces that you would like us to like maybe show at the end of this video, like, you know, other pieces that you're okay sharing, you can probably send us pictures of that, and we can
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
do
I
a
can do
little
that. I
slideshow.
have pieces that I still that have not been sold. Um, I was a little reluctant to ever let go of it, but I must at some point for me to move ahead. So I'll definitely share that with you, and anybody who's interested can definitely reach out to buy it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, reach out to us in the comment section, or
Yes.
on our Instagram page, and I'll put you in touch with the artist here, and yeah, you can directly chat with her. So okay, was there anything else?
No.
Actually, yes, we have a few more things to say about this art piece.
I just wanted to say I've never bought custom art before, and I never thought I'd buy custom art until this happened. I didn't know what to expect, but given the questions Srishti was asking and the thought that she was putting into all of this, I was just sure that this piece was going to blow me away. The fact that she combined her knowledge of psychology and art onto this canvas really enhanced the depth of her art, and it just made it much more precious to me. When I unboxed the piece, I was just speechless. I just sat there staring at it. I mean, TJ was in tears. That really shows how powerful this was and how much it meant to us. Even today, every evening, when I walk through the hallway, I turn on the overhead lights of the canvas, and I just stand there and I just soak in, this is what we have in our possession.
He actually he actually says things like "wowee."
You can check out the cost of this piece in the description below, and it includes the international shipping and the art insurance. But remember, any of you can have fantastic art like this in your home that's tailored to you. It can come under any budget, and I'm sure that you'll be glad that you did it. We will be thrilled if you check out Srishti's website, which you can find in the description below. Hopefully it will be down there by the time that you watch this.
Yeah, it's actually a website in construction, so yeah, maybe there's a few days delay, but we wanted the video up there. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope we see you again in our next video, and hope you stick around.